again, everybody, and welcome to the first review for the game Basements. This is Max Lehew speaking.
Trey.
And we're here today to talk about Max Payne 3, the next installment in the Max Payne franchise, which it's been a long time, if I remember correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long?
Max Payne 2 came out, I want to say, like 8 years ago?
Yeah.
For the PS2.
It was something like that, but it's been a while, and now Rockstar Games has gotten the Max Payne license, and they are the ones who released Max Payne 3. And I think it's interesting that Rockstar, a company that's known for their sandbox games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead, those are sandbox games, but they do have at least somewhat of a linear storyline. But this game is all linear.
Mm-hmm. This game takes a different take on Max Payne and whatnot, but we'll get into that as soon as Lehew here finishes the introduction.
Yeah, I guess we'll just finish up the introduction by telling the story. The story of Max Payne 3 it's set, I think, did it say 5 years after 2?
5 years later in San Paulo or something like that?
Yes. Max Payne is hired by the Bronco family to protect Victor Bronco and his brothers and his trophy wife, Fabiana. Of course, in typical Max Payne fashion, shit goes wrong really fast, and we're thrown into a conspiracy that is much more deep, intricate, and darker than Max thought. So, as we mentioned before, this is a different take on Max Payne, at least story-wise, and I'm going to let the Max Payne expert over here, because I played both games, Trevon, but it's been a long time. I know you said you recently went back and got them. How would you say this Max Payne is different from the other two?
Well, one, it doesn't take place in New York, so...
Other than the obvious.
Well, yeah, and this time around, Max is, like you said, a bodyguard. After being taken away from New York by I forgot his name. What was it? What was his name again?
Oh my God! Something tells me not Ted Bundy. Crap! What was his name? Hold on.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, people who play it will find out, but get the basic gist of the story. When is it?
Yeah. Passos.
Yeah, Passos. There
yes.
You go.
A former friend of his, Passos, from the police academy, recruits him to, like we said, be a bodyguard for Franco. But I think the main key to say between this one is that, goddamn, Max Payne lost himself.
Well, that's been going on ever since the first one. Ever since the...
Not as heavy with the alcoholism, though.
Oh, it was at the beginning, definitely. But then he looked forward to start a new leaf, or, whatever. And he stopped his drinking, and he stopped taking, well, not entirely, but he, slowed down on taking the painkillers that you usually take, especially the alcohol. You take painkillers with alcohol and whatnot, and he would vomit the next morning, or vomit right then and there, and stuff like that.
I mean, you open up at the beginning of the game, he's just drinking himself stupid,
because of the death of his wife is so affecting him,
I know, but it's in the other games, it was at least a little moderate. He was drinking, but it was realistic, because, in how much he could take. This game, he's just taking bottles of rum and finishing 3 a night, and I'm just sitting there how is your liver not gone out of your body and said, fuck this, I'm done?
Well, I kind of question that myself. Any average human being, would not be able to drink that much, obviously, without dying because of alcohol poisoning. But,
I know, he's sitting there in a room and he's just I remember back to my wife and all the wonderful things in New York. And while he's doing so, he's downing 3 bottles of rum, and I'm like, dude!
Well, you have to understand, Max Payne is the virtual Bruce Willis. So he can take any kind of shit and get away with it, with a clean slate or whatnot. this Max Payne by far is probably my favorite one out of the whole series.
Really?
Yeah. Because, one, it's a different take on Max Payne. He's a bodyguard. It's something entirely different. And I congratulate Rockstar for doing something different with Max Payne. I really do. It was probably, it's my favorite Max Payne thus far.
Well, I haven't gone back to play 1 and 2 in a long time. I should go back and do that. But I think the thing that makes this game work for me is the tight control scheme and the realism that Rockstar took towards it. I mean, this is not one of those games. It's like Call of Duty where you can go out and shoot up a bunch of guys, try to melee them, you'll be fine. You do this in Max Payne, you're fucking dead.
You're dead.
Like,
doesn't matter what difficulty you're on, you're dead.
No, because I started on normal and it actually got so hard towards the middle that I had to switch to easy. And even on easy, it's still a great challenge. It even says at the beginning of the screen when you pick the easy mode, this is still going to be tough.
You played on easy.
I needed to beat the game.
You played on easy. I played through the whole game on normal and I was perfectly fine. Yeah, I almost want to throw my controller out the window at some parts.
Well, I wanted to get it done, and I knew if I stayed on normal, that wasn't going to happen. So,
but anyway, not only with the tight controls and realism, but the dialogue and the cutscenes. To where the cutscenes, they like would put parts of the cutscenes, or parts of the words in the cutscenes, and they would flash on the screen, and that really made me get involved with the game and actually pay attention than what other games you do just by having to read subtitles or not. They the words flash on screen and then they flash back out, and it just really gets you involved. I love that about the cutscenes, and I love that about the dialogue was really good. Loved the dialogue, and just the whole story in general. Max Payne. What else can I say about this game? The shooting was amazing. The
controls are very tight. I really do like that about it. It's very well done control scheme.
Not only that, but they kept the gameplay and whatnot from the older Max Paynes, and that's what I also liked about that too.
Yeah, I was about to say, shoot dodge and bullet time are they really are never better than they have been in this one. I mean, and going back on the whole realism thing, I really love how when you shoot dodge, Max Payne is a lot older. He's a lot fatter than he was in the other two.
Yeah.
Whenever he goes to shoot dodge, you can see on his face, it's like, God damn it, you're gonna make me do it. Oh, shit.
Not only that, but if you shoot dodge into a wall, he'll actually hit the wall.
He'll hit the wall and he'll have trouble getting up. He'll be like, oh, fuck.
So they actually took his age into consideration.
Which I think really does help. And I think that sense of realism is one of the keys to the game. I mean, it does really help, and it brings the point of the story home that he's old and washed up a little bit, that, whenever you shoot dodge or whenever you do bullet time and you can't take that many bullets, I mean, this game shows Max as a normal guy, unlike most shooters do nowadays. It shows him as a normal guy, and if you get shot too many times, you're dead. You're fucking dead.
Yeah, not only that, but, what was I going to say? Oh, so when the last enemy comes in the room and you kill him, you can slow down time that shows the bullet going through. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the gameplay, because you can keep on shooting the guy and, having it in slow motion. The guy will keep on getting shot. It's just the funniest thing, because his body and the ragdoll physics, it's just funny scene.
I would get so mad because every time that would happen, I would only have 2 bullets left. So I'd be like, hey, shoot him a bunch of times, and then it'd be no.
I know, because you want the thing to go on forever because it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I like the different, even though it's in South America, I like how you not only stay in San Paulo, or you go to tropical forests, and you go from a nightclub to general urban setting, to where anything could happen. You can use some of the environment to your advantage. Like this one part where you're in a bus garage, and you can shoot the control panel, which are holding the buses up on the platform. And if enemies are under the platform, you can shoot the panel, and the bus would fall straight on top of them.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, then you can use the environment to your advantage. And not only that, what I also like is the simple things, say there's another spoiler sort of kind of. You're in a morgue at one point in New York. And, you take the painkillers, and Max Payne will, say a snide remark saying, like, oh, the dead won't need these anymore. And then you take the painkillers, and bam, simple things like that is what get me about a game and what makes me really appreciate the gameplay and the dialogue and whatnot. So
I think I do have to. I know we've kind of praised this game for everything we can, but there are some problems that I personally have with it. I don't know that you're going to have. When it comes to the dialogue and Max Payne's character in general, I just thought he was getting, like, with the moody depression, it just got overly repetitive. I would say about 3/4 through the game, where it's just every time there's a cutscene, he would, like, beat up on himself or be depressed, like, I let another one get away. Why am I so fucking stupid? Why am I so bad? I need drink!
Well, you don't, because I think I'm glad that they did that, because, one, he's trying to turn over a new leaf, And when you sit there, and, I mean, think of it realistically. Like, if you sit there trying to turn over a new leaf, trying to stop your alcoholism, trying to do all this stuff, trying to save people this time instead of let them die, and then all of a sudden, people around you start dying that you're trying to protect, how would you feel?
Yeah, true. I mean, and I guess the other complaint that I have is that, I don't know if this happened to you when you were playing it, but I ran into a couple glitches when I was playing it. Like, for example, that, going back to the car thing, I actually had to restart that whole scene twice because I did a shoot dodge and, like, I landed in this weird place that would not let me move at all.
Oh, well, those are a couple things. That's never happened to me.
Oh, that happened to me on multiple occasions. I just thought that something that was weird that was going on. I don't know. And I don't know, but did you ever get the feeling that you were going against all of fucking Brazil as one person?
Yeah, like I said, he's like a virtual Bruce Willis. I mean, come on now. I mean, I know, say in the movie Die Hard, Bruce Willis is faced up against all these terrorists, and it's like all the terrorists in the world versus him. And, I like that aspect about Max Payne. I like how it was you against, like, all of the corrupt cops and all of the people that were in the favela and whatnot. I like how it was you against all of those people. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, Max Payne 3, all in all, it's a great game. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I bought it. I really am.
I have to say one more tiny nitpick criticism that I have is that, once again, this has the bad... not exactly the best final boss in it. Yeah. I was expecting a much greater thing for how difficult the game was, and when the final boss came, I was like, oh, we're going to do the... Okay.
I don't know. I was kind of indifferent about it myself, but it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I just thought it could have been stronger.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but that's like, again, that's another small thing.
Right.
I mean, for the whole game and the whole story.
Right.
Involved with everything, that's just another small thing. I mean, Jesus Christ. I started playing this game, and, I went to go shoot dodge and shit. I was jizzing my pants because of how good it was, all that really factored out all the bad things. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would like to see another Max Payne installment. I really would, because this game really, really made me feel like they brought back the Max Payne series into its former glory. After 8 years, 7 years, how long it's been, I really, really appreciate what Rockstar did with this game.
Now, quick question for you, since I didn't really get to play enough of it that I don't feel right talking about it, but multiplayer.
Oh, multiplayer, definitely, it's different. It really is. I
did really like it. You were right. I liked how when you go in the bullet time, a bubble is created on the map, and when you go in that bubble, you're in the time.
Yeah, so you, like you said, yeah, it's, everybody starts going in slow motion, and right. Depending on who's using bullet time, it either be like white, where one of your teammates is using bullet time, like the whole area would turn white, or the whole area would turn red.
Right.
And red meaning that the enemy is using bullet time. And I think they did that real well because, one, if you're facing an enemy that's in bullet time and that's shooting at you, you still have a chance to shoot at him and kill him.
Right.
I mean, so you can basically use the enemy's bullet time to your advantage because it gives you time to shoot at him. So not only that, but with the bullet time meter, you can fill the meter up to certain points, and you can upgrade your weapon or upgrade, your body armor or whatnot to stronger body armor or a better weapon. Say, like, if you get to the second bar bullet time, you can upgrade to a heavy machine gun that you can use against people.
It's like what they were doing pretty much with the multiplayer. It's a Call of Duty type thing where the more you kill, the more experience you get. The more experience you get, the more things you unlock. So we've seen that and all, but all in all, it is a lot of fun. It's very different. Good idea for definitely a third-person shooter, and it does give an edge over its competition. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Anything else you have to say?
Well, I do. Funny story about the multiplayer, actually. The preset classes, they all have body armor, except for, like, the snitch or whatnot. Yeah. And so I was like, cool, body armor. Then you get to create your own class. I was like, cool. So I'll buy this and that. And I put my dumbass, I bought a fucking bulletproof helmet to protect me from headshots, keeping in mind that I still thought the body armor was still attached to me. Or I still had body armor or whatnot. So I went into the game with a fucking bulletproof helmet and a grenade launcher of all things. So I was going into the game, I'm like, cool, I'm not going to die easily. I'm going to run up to people and shoot them with the grenade launcher. Next thing I know, this person with the sniper rifle kills me with 2 shots. I was like, what the fuck? What just happened? It's like, oh, sorry, you don't have any body armor. You exchange that with a fucking bulletproof helmet. Oh, thanks for telling me that, multiplayer, because now I don't have any classes that are good, and I have a bullshit class I have to use. I mean, I'm not saying that's a complaint. I'm just saying that's my own mistake and my own dumb fault.
Yeah.
So
what would you give it?
Full price. Absolutely. Absolutely full price. Definitely worth it. Especially for all of you Max Payne players out there, it's definitely worth it. It's absolutely full price.
You know what? The story itself, I was going to go a bargain bit, but that multiplayer does push it to a full price for me, just because it gives it that competitional edge. I think it's a great game. I think Rockstar did a wonderful job. I know some old school Max Payne fans have been kind of half and half on this, so it's interesting to see how that you really lovingly embraced it and are really happy with it.
Well, why would you say the story is just a bargain bet?
Just because it's, I mean, with a story like that, it's playing enough third-person shooters, except for the bullet time and the shoot dodge, there's really not much else to it, and I beat it in 3 days, so that's kind of short for me, but...
It's because you play it on easy.
Well, I'm just saying. That's... Even if I did beat it on normal, that doesn't take away how long it is overall as a story.
It does. It really does, because it depends on the difficulty you play it on. It doesn't matter... I mean, if you play on easy, of course you go through it really fast. The enemies are easy to kill. It doesn't give you that challenge. Like, that's with most video games. If you sit there and say, oh, I beat it in, like, a day or 2, that's probably because you played on a, like, easier difficulty. Because the enemies are easy to kill. Whether you know it or not, you get more bullet time per kill and stuff like that. And, of course, it's going to make it faster to beat. So I mean,
that's true. That's true, and I did run through it because I knew we had to review this. So
well, exactly. So I mean, once you play it on normal or even on hard or whatnot, then you'll understand that the story is actually longer. It gives you more of a challenge.
Yeah, I think the other thing for the story is just I kind of called it halfway through.
About what?
About who the bad guys were.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's kind of easy to figure out.
Yeah, and it's just the over repetitiveness of Max Payne. We get it. You're depressed. Not every cutscene, and it's just when you're getting all these cutscenes about him being depressed, you kind of, at least this happened with me halfway through the game. You start to be like, all right, we get it. You're depressed. Let's just get back to shooting in the gameplay. So, but it's a very good game, very well done, and I still give it full price.
Very depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what shocked the hell out of me?
What?
That game had a lot more, because I always expected, like, okay, he's going to save these people and everything's going to be fine. Well, guess what? Max Payne fucks you in the butt for that one, because none of that shit happens. So don't expect anything with that game. Because
that's true. I do love how self-referential the game is. Like one of the guys he's protecting halfway through the game is like, "You fucking suck," and Max Payne's like, "Yeah, I know." and then like there's one part where I guess I should bring this up because this is another problem I had. Games, I understand that you do this for realism's sake, but if you like a little bit less than half of your dialogue is in another language, put fucking subtitles on it.
And that's why you have to activate the subtitles.
No, because I was talking about for the Portuguese. Like, whenever any of the guys were speaking Portuguese, and Max Payne spoke for the player, and they were like, "I don't speak your language, damn it!" I'm like, "Yeah, you tell them, because I don't either."
Well, they try to put you in Max Payne's shoes, trying to get you not to understand what they're saying, and they're trying to make you feel like you're the outsider. You got to take into consideration.
That's true. It's just I would have liked to at least gotten a little bit, like. Some of the lower end guys who were just screaming at you probably obscenities. Yeah, I don't need to see that. But when it's a serious scene and like they're saying stuff to you, I would have liked to at least had them at least try to speak English to Max Payne or something like that.
Well, then again, I mean, if they didn't speak English and they're in freaking South America, then that defeats the purpose of putting the game in South America. And I think another thing is that they really did put you in Max Payne's shoes. And that's what I liked about that, is because Max Payne didn't understand what they're saying, so why should you understand what they're saying? That's how I took it. That's how I looked at the positives of that, and that really helped me out with that when it came to being in Max Payne's shoes. So, like, when you do things like that, and you don't be too fast to criticize that, because, I mean, you got to think of what the developers were trying to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And they did a really good job with that, and this game just gives me a rock hard dick. So I can't really say anything, especially being a big Max Payne fan as I am. And, for the sake of my sanity, people who are making movies based off Max Payne, please make them good. All right? Because the Max Payne movie with Mark Wahlberg, bless his soul, but Jesus Christ. Well, that's a different subject. But anyway, still full price for me. I liked everything about this game. I mean, if you're having a problem with some minor glitches, I can understand that. But other than like the people speaking Portuguese, whatever language they were speaking, there's some type of Spanish shit. I don't know. Well, because I took Spanish class, I understood some of it.
I think it was Portuguese.
Whatever, same thing. They all sound the same. But this game blew me out of the water. It really did for a Max Payne game. And I love, like I said, I love how they took a different take on Max Payne, instead of, keeping him in New York and putting him in some country which he's not familiar with and where he has trouble communicating with the people and the environment and whatnot. It really, really did a different take on Max Payne, and this is definitely a full-price game. I definitely recommend getting it if you're a Max Payne fan, and even if you're not, you'd still enjoy the story. And I really, really like this game.
Good shit. Well, that's it. Talking about Max Payne 3. And we'll be back next week with a review for Kingdom Hearts 3DS.
And look forward to an upcoming Spec Ops: The Line trailer. I'm going to go ape shit on that game. So, yeah.
All right.
See you later. This has been Trey, and that's Lehew over there.
Yep. Adios, guys. Love,